Could y'all hear my fan in the background? Oh.
No, I don't.
Because I touched
I
it
got
off. All right, everybody. Top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night. We are live. Hello, everybody. The round
hello.
table is here. Other people may pop in. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, ladies. All right, everybody. Top of the morning,
My
top
name
of the
is Letha
evening, top
Brawley,
of
and
the
I'm an
night.
advocate
We are
J4K
live.
and
Hello,
her family.
everybody. The round table
J4K
is
for
here.
life.
Other people may pop in. Go ahead and
I'm
introduce
Alicia,
yourselves,
and it's
ladies.
the same thing
All
with me.
right,
J4K
everybody.
since day
My
one.
name is Letha Brawley.
Is anybody getting that feedback? Does everybody have their devices, electronics in the background
Mm,
turned?
I think so. Now, I
Are
got
we
it.
hearing? You got it? Are we
it's
hearing
fine
that?
now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who was that echoing?
It's over now. It
Okay.
stopped now.
Okay. Okay. Let's get this disclaimer out the way. We got some work to do tonight. We got some work to do tonight. This is Justice on Demand. How do we get it? So we're discussing a host of topics tonight. Let's get this disclaimer out the way. Screen share real quick.
Hello to the chat. Welcome, everyone.
That's right. Hello. All right, here we go. Let me share this. If you vote, if you are a voter, put a V in the chat for voting. If you are a voter, put a V in the chat, letting us know that you are a registered voter. Now, if you're a registered voter and you do vote, put a Y in the chat. Okay. I gotta back this disclaimer up and go back to the right one. Here we go. Can everybody see the disclaimer? Can everybody see the disclaimer?
I can see it, Corinza.
You can see it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Very well. Where? All right. Here it is. All right. I'm getting some Y's. TK, if you want to come up, let me know. Douglas, hello. TK, I know you say you wasn't
Hello.
TK official. I know you said you didn't want to do any more J for K lives. But if you want to come up on the panel, you're more than welcome. I will send you the link. Just let me know. Okay, here we go. In accordance to the Copyright Act of the United States of America, sections 106, 106A, 107, and the others. Fair use. We have a right to use the videos, pictures, material, and the like, etc. for criticism, comments, new reportings, teaching, scholarships, research. This information is now a matter of public records in accordance to the United States of America Freedom of Information Act. And I didn't put that other one up there. Okay. So that is out of the way. Now, we talked about justice on demand, renew, refresh, and relentlessness. I'm going to let Mrs. Letha talk about renew and refresh. She's going to start it off and then we'll go from there. We're going to do sections tonight. Miss Letha, why don't you go ahead and share your story?
Okay. Okay, it was like probably like a year. Wait,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, she'll come back in. Well, Miss Letha is going to start off um, talking about. Oh, she's calling this way. Miss Letha, I'm going to resend you the link. Miss Letha um, has a powerful story about why she came to J for K. She has a aneurysm, and she's going to talk about how she refreshed and renewed herself to get up to fight again. Okay.
Having an aneurysm can be very, very scary. It's no joke.
All right. I just resent Miss Letha the link.
So I'm excited to hear her story.
All
There
right,
she
Miss Letha.
is.
I don't know what happened.
Let me turn you up.
Okay.
TK, like I said, if you want to come up, let me know. All right, Miss Letha.
Okay, we're
Share your
gonna try it
story.
again. Okay. It was about a little over a year ago. I had went to the doctor and I had found out that I have a aneurysm on my main on my aorta. And I was laying around really depressed. I mean, real depressed, thinking about dying and what could happen and all this and that. And I was laying around one day and on Facebook, and Mama T came on Facebook, and she was wanting help. Excuse me, she was looking for her daughter, and so I just started listening at her and all everything that was going on. And eventually I started, getting up out the bed and start paying attention to and getting interested in what was going on with this little 19-year-old girl that was found in this freezer. And so from day one, the more Mama T talked about it and the more it was protest and it just gave me fire, and I started getting up out the bed, and it also gave me, uh, it breathed life in me. Wanted me, I thought, okay, here I am feeling sorry for myself, and it's somebody that's in a worse predicament than I am. A little girl lost her life, a bright life ahead of her. So from day one, I've been Mama T and J for K for life, and I can't wait to get to Rosemont on September the 9th and put my feet, as Carenza said, on the street and holler J4K. I can't wait. It's and we've been sitting around and been talking about it and talking about it. So now we have a chance to do something about it. I have a chance to do something about it, and I'm gonna do something about it. I'm gonna be down there hollering J4K. And what do we want? Justice. What do we want? Justice. I can't wait. And we need to get fired up. The closer we get, the fired up I get. So that's what it did for me.
So we talked about renew and refresh. She had a renewal to live again, a refreshing on the inside of her. It stirred something up on the inside of her, some hope to live again, to get up and stop
Yes.
feeling sorry for herself, to fight for
Yes.
something
Yes.
instead of being focused on herself. All
Right.
right, Alicia, why don't you talk about relentlessness? She got herself on mute. While I'm waiting for Alicia to talk about relentlessness, I'm going to talk about relentlessness because we're talking about justice on demand tonight. And the way that you get justice on demand is you got to be relentless. That means you don't back up. You can regroup, but you don't back up. There is a tenacity on the inside of you to the point
I'm
and to
back.
the
Sorry.
degree. Okay, I'm gonna let you do relentless after I finish this little piece right here.
Okay.
There's a tenacity on the inside of you to the degree that you don't back up, you won't give up, you won't quit. You got such a pushback on the inside of you. You have a hope on the inside of you. You know how to hope against hope. When the bottom is as low as it can go, when it seems like everything has fallen apart and the rug has been snatched off from under you, you still keep going. You got tenacity on the inside of you. You got some resilience on the inside of you. You have relentlessness on the inside of you. You have a I won't quit, I won't stop till I get what I know is due, right, just, and fair. Not just for me, but for everybody. Relentless. You have to have a relentlessness on the inside of you. We're talking about justice on demand. The way that you get justice on demand is you show up every day. When nobody else is showing up, you're showing up. When nobody else is doing it, you do it. On a rainy day, on a snowy day, on a hot day, on a fair weather day. Go ahead, Alicia. Take this. I feel a little preach.
Well, just to add to it, because you pretty much, covered it, is there's times that I've wanted to give up, and there's times that I've backed away from even just YouTube because of everything some of the negativity that comes with it. But for me, I just keep remembering, if that was my child, what would I want to happen? Kanika, is somebody else's child, and I have two daughters myself, and I know if that was my child, I would not give up, I would not stop, I would keep going. And so that's why I just can't give up on Kanika. I just can't.
Relentless. She wanted to back away. And I want to talk about, okay, Alicia, I don't know what happened to your picture. Okay. I want to talk about what you see, what you hear, how you see, how you hear, and how you perceive. It's very important because what you see causes a picture to be painted on the canvas of your imagination. And you begin to play that story over and over in your mind. And you begin to rehearse that thing over and over in your mind. What you hear, how you hear, what you hear, your perspective on what you hear, you begin to play over and over again in your mind. If you think you can't, you can. If you think you can, you can. And the bottom line is this: you really can, but you didn't play the negative story. And so now you think you can. I think what's happening to a lot of people is a negative story is being played, and they think they can. They think justice won't happen. They think justice, there's your picture again, Alicia. They think justice won't happen. They think that they've endured for so long, but come on, let's think about it. Have we really endured for so long? It's only been a year.
Right.
Now, it's only been a year. Have we really endured for so long? And now I'm going to show you something. The audio may not come in, but I want to show you this really quick. I want to show you the epitome of someone from previous generations who endured. Can I do that? Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right, let me make sure she's up. Let me pause that. Oh, got it too big. Take that down some. Here. All right. Now I got the volume off on this. I'm gonna roll this back. Can everyone hear the volume on that?
I can't.
You can't hear the volume? Okay.
Oh, I can't hear it either, Carissa.
Okay. Well, this is Harriet Tubman from 1820 as a child who was loaned out to different plantations, who was working in the field. When she was a teenager, she suffered a serious injury. She got hit in the head with a metal weight and suffered epilepsy. She suffered epilepsy. Even in her epileptic state, this lady walked miles back and forth from the to the Underground Railroad, freeing millions and millions of slaves with epilepsy. With epilepsy. Talk about relentless. Talk about relentlessness. So we want to talk about relentlessness. I don't know anything more relentless than that. Now, I show Harriet Tubman to say this. If Harriet Tubman, in an epileptic state for years, could walk miles and miles back and forth fleeing slaves, how much more in the state where we have cars, technology, and the like can we endure until somebody gets some justice?
I know
You
that's
need to
right.
refresh, you need to renew, you need to refire, and you need to get a relentlessness on the inside of you. People are saying, what does justice look like? What is justice on demand? Justice on demand means you show up every day. Justice on demand means you don't stop. Justice on demand means you are registered to vote. Justice on demand means you show up to vote. Justice on demand means you run for the office. Justice on demand means you create the bills. You make the laws. You have influence. You are the person that you've been waiting on. People are looking back saying, oh, we didn't get it. Justice not coming. Oh, didn't nothing happen. Did you quit? Did you just have a measure on the inside of you for justice? Or are you in this for the long haul? I think you need to throw your measuring cup away and get over into the spirit of some unconditional overflow to where you can keep it going.
It took me a minute
Because
to understand that, Corinza. I never voted. I just started recently, registered to vote and started voting like this year because I never thought, I thought it ain't gonna do no good. I'm not gonna fool with that stuff. But then that's another thing of being refreshed. It refreshed me whether, yeah, my voice do count, my vote count. We put these people in office. We are the people. We put people in there. So if we go vote and do like we're supposed to do, we put people in there who we want in there, somebody that
Yeah,
we can have faith in.
that's
So
right.
that's another thing that refreshed me too, because I actually vote. My sister stayed on me to vote for years, but I never did.
and see,
But so no, I did. So
see,
that's another refresh for me.
see, that's vital. That's vital. You need to do what's vital. You need to do what's vital. We need to do what's vital. Now, how many people have showed up to the state capitol every day? How many people have been out there protesting every day, J for K? How many people have been, and what group is in Washington every day saying justice for Kanika? What group is at the state capitol every day in Illinois saying justice for Kanika? And yes, I do know that there are people who go out periodically and has never stopped going out, like Gina Kidd, protesting. But who is showing up every day? Who is showing up every day? We say we want justice. We say we need justice. We say, where is justice at? Justice is on demand on the inside of you. When you get up, when you put your feet on the ground, when you show up, when you show up in the natural, when you show up, when you make your presence known, when you make your presence felt beyond just social media, which is a good outlet. It's an excellent outlet. But when you show up, and to the people in Florida, let me stop and acknowledge that too, the mass shootings, sending prayers up for those people. But
Yes.
how many of us know how to write a bill? How many of us know when we can present a bill in our own state? How many of us know when? How many of us know when that can be done? How many of us how many of us know when we can do that? How many people can say, I know, I know today that I can go present a bill to get a law passed or to get a law changed? How many of us are really aware of what's really going on? And how many of us are aware of all of the shenanigans and the foolishness going on from number 45? How many of us are really aware of what's going on? How many people are really being astute and paying attention? Or are we sitting back in a defeated mode? Have we took a position and posture of defeat? We say we want it, but do we really want it? How bad do we want it? How bad do we want it? Refresh, renew, and relentlessness. Relentlessness says, I'm not going to quit. Relentlessness is what Harriet Tubman had on the inside of her with epilepsy. Could you imagine having epilepsy, walking miles and miles to and fro to deliver a people with epilepsy?
I
Come
couldn't
on now.
I couldn't imagine.
Come on now. This is Miss Letha. But I resent her the link. Melanie Tiger, hello. To all the people in the chat, hello. Mrs. Letha keeps getting dejected. I don't know why. I resent the link. Miss Letha, I resent you the link. So this is to get you fired up. And hopefully you'll reevaluate and reassess what you really started off to do. Okay. She's coming this way. Miss Letha, I'll resend the link to you again. Yeah, I know it's a lot going on throughout the world, in the world, not just in the United States of America. It's a lot going on globally. But I want people in America, there she is. I want people in America to realize, especially those of us whose ancestors were not free, to realize we come from a legacy of relentlessness, of resilience. We come from a legacy of people with a tenacity like no other. Not saying that other races don't, but for us who are the descendants of slaves, we came from some resilient people. We came from some people who had some relentlessness on the inside of them and a tenacity not to quit and not to stop. And yes, there were Quakers and other nationalities out there helping us too. So refresh yourself. If that means you need to stay off social media for a few days, a time, and a season, before you show up to protest, then do that. If that means you need to take a sabbatical, from some other stuff. Do what you need to do to get yourself renewed. If that means you need to do nothing but play positive music, positive things all day long, do that. If that means you need to go back and look at stories and testimonials from other people who were considered down and out, do that. If that means you need to go back and look at some stories on people who did get justice, then do that. We have recent stories where 45, his attorneys, what, in court, brought up on charges. At justice, that's a form of justice, right? For all the corruption that's being done, for trying to hide all his money. That's a form of justice. And so you think that justice is not coming, but it is. But you have to stay the course, because this is a long race. This is it's about those who can endure to the end. It's not about who's quick. It's not about who's the fastest. It's about who has the endurance on the inside of them, the tenacity that I won't quit until I get what I came here to get. It's justice on demand on the inside of you. All right. Ms. Letha, let's go back to you. And I want you to stay right there and really
Okay.
talk about the time that you had your aneurysm, from the time that they told you had your aneurysm,
Mm-hmm.
and the months that you spent being hope being
Yeah,
hopeless,
just laying
and then the time
around.
that you got into hope. How
Yeah.
many months was that? How much time was that?
Okay. It was like, see, Mama T came on live in September. It was a winter time. It was real cold here. I live in the South. And I would go sit in the car because I smoke cigarettes. I know that's bad, but hey, I'm working on that. But I smoke cigarettes, especially back then. I really smoked a lot. So I would go. I don't smoke in the house, so I would go sit in the car, and I just sit out in the car and just smoke cigarettes and be real depressed. And came in the house, and like I said, that was like probably I got my diagnosis probably in about May, and so from May until September, I laid around and just gave up, literally just gave up, and so then in September when I heard Mama T ask for help, I just started listening. So by October, no, before that when they said it was an accident, and then they released the pictures of her in the freezer. And then that's when I started getting up. And I said, wait a minute, and I really, day and night. I mean, I was day and night. I started writing down people's names and her friends and day and night. And it just like every day until up to this day. And from then until now, it's like I have a reason and a purpose where before I thought I didn't have a purpose. And yeah, I chose this to be my purpose to fight for justice for Kanika because it was wrong. And then not only for Kanika, but any injustice, it gave me a purpose and a reason to live, a reason to say, okay, I can help somebody else. I can do something. And like I said, I never voted. And actually, matter of fact, Renza can uh, testify to this. We talked to my sister, and she was telling her I didn't vote. I never voted. I thought, it ain't gonna do no good and this and that. But then now, since this has happened to Kanika, it's like, okay, yeah, I have a voice, and the voice is we have to vote. We have to register to vote. There's a lot of people I've noticed in my state that are felons, and I noticed somewhere in Chicago that this dude had went around and was showing felons how they could get their rights back to vote. And I think the system prey a lot or own or you. I'm not gonna say they prey on it, but
Talk
they just
about it.
use
Talk about it.
anything
They
to
do prey on it. I'm
they
sorry.
prey on
I'm
it to
sorry. Talk
use
about it.
that they prey on that to use it as an excuse so our black men uh can't don't have a vote. They take it from you. They strip that right from you not to vote. And I never have saw where if you commit a crime or some crimes are bad where that right should be taken from you. I never understood that, but now I'm understanding it more. These are your basic rights. We have rights, and we have to learn what our rights are. We have to behave ourselves in accordance with the law. So if we don't know what the laws are, then we need to be trying to find out what they are. So for our protection as well as for our knowledge, because knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, and it's a lot. I mean, it's not a lot. It's very simple. But the reason I brought that up about the felons, because here in this state that I'm from, it's a lot of young dudes around here that are felons, and I've been talking to them, and so that's another thing that I want to do. That I'm going to do. I'm going to find out how these dudes can get their rights to vote reinstated.
Right.
Here, they have where you can go to school free if you're 55 or older. So I'm going to go to school. I'm going to study criminal justice. I'm going to. This has really, as Carissa said, this has refreshed me, and this refresh me has also refreshed me to the point where I want to use the law and our rights. They are our rights. And so Kanika and this cause woke up a lot of people. A lot of people. It woke up me, and it's a bad thing that happened. But the outcome of it is that we're not going to rest. We're not going to rest. Like Corinne said, it's not even been a year, and I know people. Are feeling some type of way because I was too, and I just had to stay off of YouTube and a lot, because it will depress you. It will, like Corinza said, it will form this picture in your head, and it's a distraction. So I stayed off YouTube because it's not a very good thing for me right now because I had got depressed, very depressed about Kanika and the stuff that was going on, mostly about the stuff people were saying about Mama Teresa and her family. And then I got to thinking, if I feel like this, can you imagine how she feels? And she's still strong. She's a strong woman, a very, very strong woman. These last 2 days, when I was kind of really mad and upset with stuff that was going on YouTube, I was really mad. And I mean, out of breath mad, panting mad. And then I got to think about that's her daughter. She birthed her. And can you imagine how she feels? She don't give up, and I know damn well I can't. And so that's what we all need to be on that same page. And I'm gonna quit rambling and let
Oh, no,
somebody else
that's
talk.
fine. That's fine because uh, I'm a piggyback. I want to go back to the felons. So, Miss Letha, refresh, going back to school to educate herself in the area of criminal justice so she can see in her area starting off, and then she'll catapult from there how she can see how to get records of felons expunged so they can vote again, so they can get their rights again. Because there's a couple of states, and it's very few in the United States, that have fresh start programs for people who have been incarcerated. I'm gonna tell you right here, right now, prison does not rehabilitate or cause anyone to change. It just gives them more time to think. But prison does not change anybody.
And they
Prison
don't
is
want it
not
to
change.
change,
It's
Carissa.
the bigger. It's the biggest hustle. It's one of the biggest
Yes, yes,
hustles in the
yes.
United States of America.
They
Now
study
we
building prisons, but no
study
vocational
building
schools to
prisons.
train people or none of that. So it's
Study.
really a shame.
Yeah, we're not saying that you don't need a punishment for being
Right?
lawless, because the laws were created for who? The lawful or the lawless? Who were the laws created for? And we know that a lot of times, and I'm still piggybacking, a lot of men, not just black, it's Hispanics, it's it's men now, it's men, it's teenagers, it's women are incarcerated for some simple stuff that really doesn't make sense. I mean, if you took somebody's life, that's a different story. But was it done in self-defense? I mean, it's hideous crimes that are done that people really need to be on lockdown for. And then there's some stuff that shouldn't. They're going to prison for what? For what? For protesting? You got to, yeah, some people have been in prison for protesting. What? You're getting arrested and you're being accosted because you did what? And you did what? And So we can't expect for prisons to rehabilitate anybody or change anybody's behavior. And yes, these men and women, when they get out, need help. Now, going back to a refresh that comes from the inside of Miss Letha, which is wonderful. She's going back to educate herself to help people get justice and to start over.
How
That's
you look at
excellent.
it? You look at it, Miss Corinne. People get out of prison, and some of them want to start over. They're not gonna hire you because you got a felon on your record, not the jobs that they need to help themselves and their families. So they feel hopeless, and so they're gonna turn back to doing what they know, stealing, robbing, to get money because they can't get a job. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right, but that's the truth.
Right. People are gonna do what they know to
That's right.
survive. Survival of the fittest. People are gonna do what they know. Now that's talking about renew, refresh, relentlessness. Okay. Now, something else I want to look at and talk about really quickly. Now, I think that's excellent for Miss Letha to be refreshed and how this case have changed her paradigm. Something else I want to piggyback off what she said. She talked about getting pulled into all the negative, the bogus, fictitious stories, the liars, and I got to call a liar what they are. If you're a liar, you a liar, and there is hope for you. Um, and if the shoe fits, you wear it well. If it if you're not a liar, this don't pertain to you. If you not lied about this case, this don't pertain to you. If you have lied and got pulled into cattiness, you need to get some psychological help. There is help out there for you. I know a bunch of good psychologists, psychiatrists, and I'm not talking about people who's going to medicate you because the meds, when they wear off, they don't help you. Okay. I'm talking about some people who can reach deep down into the core of you and explain to you why you do what you do and why you are the way you are and help you out of your situation. If you're a liar or if you just need help, period. If you need help, family help, or any type of help, I do know some professionals who are willing to help you and they will help you. Okay. But for those of us who are out here getting any form of justice or have platforms as content creators, uh, we need to be more accountable for the things that we say and do. Also, if you are subscribed to somebody, you need to be accountable for what you are hearing, what you are seeing. You need to be careful how you hear what you hear. And you don't need to hear too much negative in abundance to the full to it overflows because it will make you begin to feel depressed, oppressed, hopelessness. It does begin to create a picture on the canvas of your imagination. Okay. And what picture are you playing in your mind? And you wonder how people got sidetracked off justice because they began to play a different picture on the canvas of their imagination. And it was a picture called hopelessness. Hopelessness. But as a man or woman thinks in their heart that they are, they are. So I want you to think hope. And I want you to hope against hope. And I want you to get up and do what you were created to do and be about it. That's what I want you to do. That's what I would that everybody do. And it's time to begin to brush off to those of us who do have channels and that have may have been attacked or whatever, people saying whatever, brush it off. Brush it off. Brush it off. Can those people add to your height, your stature, your measure in life? No, they cannot. Can they take away from your stature, your measure in life? No, they cannot. So brush them off. Brush them off. Renew. Refocus yourself. Get some relentlessness back on the inside of you. Paint a different picture on the canvas of your imagination. Paint the picture called hope on the canvas of your imagination. Begin to see and do some things differently. Like I said, like Miss Letha said, she started getting into it with a bunch of people. She had to go on a sabbatical for a little while on YouTube or social media. It's nothing wrong with that. Some people may need to do that. Take some time, chill, come back. There's nothing wrong with that. Me, yeah, it's been times that I saw things and I got upset and I'm like, okay, this person is step and fetch. This person is on some foolishness. That person on some foolishness. But surely I'm not going to take out time to do a live just to discuss a person. I'm sorry. I'd rather fly to your state, meet with you mano, 101. We can have the cops there, whoever, whatever. But I'm not supposed to go back and forth with you and continue to put that stuff out in the atmosphere like that. That's foolishness to me. And it changes the narrative and takes the focus off of you being about justice and it puts it on you. You. We're not here for that. We're here for people. And so everything you see, you do, you say, you will be held accountable for. If not in this life, when you cross over to the other side. For those of us who believe there is an other side. Also, we need to be careful about what we sow in the atmosphere, because if you sow an apple tree, you're going to get an apple tree. If you sow a pear tree, you're going to get pears from that tree. If you sow in some rottenness, guess what you get to reap back? Some rottenness. If you sow some goodness, some mercy, guess what you get to reap back? Some goodness and some mercy. If you sow some foolishness, guess what you get to reap back? Some foolishness. And if you don't reap it in your life, if you can't do good for no other reason, do it for this reason if you have kids or if you have a generation behind you. Because you may not reap it in your generation, all the rotten seeds that you sow or the good that you sow, but a generation behind you will reap it. So if for nothing else, if you can sow good for no other reason, do it for the generations that are coming behind you so they can reap some good. If you can't be positive for any other reason, if you can't have a hope in you for any other reason, do it for the people that are coming behind you like the ancestors and other people did it for us. Be a shoulder of strength to stand up on and resilience and not a bridge that's falling down. Can we do that? Is that all right? And I'm preaching a little bit tonight, but
And I'm waving my scarf with you.
okay, we said refresh. You need to refresh yourself. You need to renew yourself. You need to refocus. You need to get that relentlessness back on the inside of you like never ever before. Justice on demand. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? Who are you waiting for? If you don't do it, who's going to do it? Everybody could have did what somebody should have did, but didn't nobody do it. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? Everybody could have did it, but did nobody do it? Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but it never got done. Justice on demand. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? If we don't do it, who's going to do it? If you're not the person, where they at? You are the person. It's on you. It's on you.
And then to come in and say this, it's a lot of YouTubers that started out on Kanika and stuff. And even if you guys are listening or not listening, or anybody's in their chats, if you can't come, uh, send somebody. Send somebody at your chat. Donate some water. Donate
100%.
something.
Donate something.
Do something. I mean, you guys in YouTube world got me started on researching and try to find out what happened. A lot of people went astray, but she's still out there in the news. So if you can't come, send somebody. Send somebody. Send one of your moderators that you got. Let them go. Support. You need to support this march because this is how we started out. Everybody was seeking justice for Kanika. So we got a chance on her anniversary and any other day that anybody want to go out there and stand in front of the Crown Plaza Hotel and stuff, you can do it. But especially on this day that marks the 1 year anniversary, when we really want to make a stand. So if you're not going to come, send somebody. You want ratings and you want clout, hell, send somebody down there to record it and stuff, and just support it, man, any way you can.
Yeah, this is how we started out. We started out with let me go here. Let me do this screen share really quick. We started off saying no way, no how. We don't believe it inside the Crown Plaza. We started off right here. Okay, this is parallel to the front desk. The picture. This is inside Crown Plaza. We started off saying, okay, she came in through the back entrance. This is the lobby. We started off by saying no way, no how, because somebody is in a hotel 24/7. Somebody is always present. Somebody knows something. No way, no how. We not believing the story. She just showed up into a freezer. You don't know how she got there. Then beverage manager had an epiphany, walked in there. Oh, she's in there. No, we're not buying that. Y'all have remote access to those cameras. Alarm triggered when she went inside the freezer. Or I don't think she walked in the freezer personally myself. I don't think she walked in there.
I
I
don't
have
either.
no
Maybe when
knowledge.
she
I
went
have
in
no
that
knowledge
area.
of that. There's no video footage showing her walking inside of a freezer. I don't see any
Exactly.
video footage. The video footage was available. It should be present. They don't have it. So you're not going to tell me she walked in there. You have not proven that to me beyond a shadow of a doubt. Not
And
going
then the
with that
thing about
story.
it, Miss Krenza, is that if we can see them taking her out of the freezer from the angle that we did see them taking her out and then walking in there, I never saw her walking in any freezer. You can't tell me she walked in the freezer because I didn't see that.
I didn't see her walk in the kitchen. Did anybody see her enter into the kitchen? You saw her once she got in the kitchen,
Right.
or video footage of them showing her in the kitchen, but I
Right.
never saw her enter into the kitchen from the
Me
cameras
either.
outside the kitchen. I didn't see that.
Exactly.
This is what
Me
we
either.
started off saying. We don't believe anything you're saying. That's what we started off with.
Mhm.
Now, how it progressed into this other foolishness is beyond me, and it shouldn't be. But uh, shake yourself, people. Shake yourself. Shake yourself. Do you want your kids to reap all that stuff you sowing? And we see right here, this is the other side of the lobby inside the Crown Plaza Hotel. And we see right here, keep in mind, the desk is parallel, the front desk is parallel from this area right here, this sitting area. And right here, what you see, if everybody can see that, you see these stairs leading down, you see this hallway that's leading down, or this entrance that's going down, you see that. So don't tell me, no one can tell me that she was just in a hallway for an hour walking around and she didn't get seen. That's a lie, and I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to
that's a
call a
lie.
lie what it is.
It's
i'm
a
gonna, I'm gonna
lie.
have to call it what it is. That's a lie.
That's right.
There's no truth into that. And you're not going to tell me her friends knew this area very well, because the police, when they showed up, and I need to go here too. Um, okay, we see this inside this. Can everybody see this?
I can see
Can
it,
they?
Prince.
Okay, okay. If you can see it, they can see it. You see this? You see that all this parallel? This is parallel from the front desk. This is the lobby area inside Crown Plaza. Um, you're not going to tell me that a person was walking through a hall where there are employees 24 hours a day and cameras inside a hotel, and nobody saw her just walking in the hall for an hour. And I don't believe that she was walking in the hall for a whole entire hour. I'm gonna stick with the video footage was altered, edited, deleted before they turned it over. I still don't know the hotel data policy. There is no documentation on their data policy. There is no documentation of them right blocking the system and turning over a unedited copy. There's no documentation for that. There's also no documentation of the police department issuing a warrant to obtain the entire IP surveillance unit. There also is no documentation of the police department in Rosemont obtaining warrants to go in and preserve all of the data from the IP surveillance, the internet service provider for the hotel, but we see it for Facebook and other areas. So no, I'm not going to go with their theory, and no one is getting a pass. And this is what we started off saying: no, no, and no. No, we don't believe the story that you came out here with. This is foolishness. This is bogusness. And we're not rocking with that. This is what we started off saying. So why don't we refresh ourselves into saying no, no, and oh no, no, you did not play us like we stupid. No one's gonna sit up there and believe that a hotel full of employees who've been working there for years that know every area of the hotel did not know where she was all along. You're not gonna tell us no one knew that. That's what we started off saying. Don't sit up there and lie to our faces like that. Don't sit up there and insult our intelligence like that. That's what we started off saying. I'm still there. And I would that the brethren and the sisters in the YouTube community would renew, refocus, and refresh themselves and get back on task. See, here's the thing. When you don't have a plan of action, and you don't know how to execute the plan, you get distracted. But if you have a plan of action, you execute the plan. And if plan A don't work, you got a plan B. And if plan B don't work, you have a C. And if you got to go through Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, Z, if you have to have plan after plan after plan, you keep coming up with different plans of actions and different plays or ways to execute your plan until you get what you started off to get. This is Justice on Demand tonight.
And no, like my grandma used to say, you gonna walk the walk or you gonna talk the talk? Can you walk the walk or you just gonna talk the talk? Anybody can talk, or you gonna walk the walk.
And I also would like to say, for those people who will not be going from out of the country or wherever you're from, do a video, write a note, write a letter, write something of encouragement, and we will make sure that Mama T and the family get these things from you. Show your love, show your support. If you can't go, like she said, send some water, send a representative, do something to stand in solidarity. It is so much going on in the world. Can you just sow a little goodness and kindness? Can we just stay out of the pettiness just for a little while until we get over on the other side, which is justice? The case reopened is a form of justice. I'm going to stick with that right there. And once the case get reopened, we don't just stop there. We still follow up and follow up and follow up. I don't think there's a single person on here in the YouTube community who can say that they wrote a letter every single day to the Attorney General in the state of Illinois. I don't think there's a single person on here in the YouTube community who can say that they showed up to protest every single day in the state of Illinois. I don't think there's a single person on here who can say that they wrote the Justice Department every single day in the state of Illinois. I don't think there's a single person on here, and that includes myself, who can say that I called them every single day. That's relentlessness. That's relentlessness. That's relentlessness. And people are probably saying that that's excessive. No, it's not. when Flint, Michigan was having their water crisis, man created manufactured water crisis, Miss Bridget, who I love dearly, I respect this lady so much. She protested every day for an entire year by herself in Michigan, where it's cold, it's snow. She was out there from Sunday to Sunday, whether it rained, whether it snowed, whether it was hot, whether somebody else showed up with her to help her protest. She stood out there every single day protesting for a right to clean water in the city of Flint. Every single day. She never missed a day for an entire year. That's relentlessness. We need to get some bulldog tenacity on the inside of us until we get over on the other side. And then we take up another issue and get some justice for that one too. This is justice on demand. This is how you get it. Once again, if you are registered to vote, type a Y in the chat section if you are a registered voter. And then if you're a registered voter and you vote, type a V. That's also another form of justice. Right, Ms. Letha, I'm gonna let you take it back.
Okay. But like I was saying, we need to really support this. I mean, make a stand. I mean, a lot of people have got depressed. Me myself had, but like Corinza said, you gotta sit back, take a deep breath, and regroup. Even if you have to stay off YouTube for a while or whatever, because there's a lot of distractions out here. There's a lot of distractions, and we want to stay focused. All we want is justice for Kanika. That's what we want right now. We just want justice for Kanika, and what we want the case, like Corinza said, we want the case to be reopened. That's what we're working on. That's what all of us in the beginning was working on, is getting the case reopened, not who boyfriend is boyfriend and who doing all this shit. Ain't nobody got time for that. We talking about justice for Kanika. That's it. All that other stuff has nothing to do with it. All it does is make people laugh, and all these theories and stuff. It make people laugh and say, okay, we can't get nothing together. We don't work together. We can't do nothing but fuss and fight together. And we want to set a new example. We want to be able to come together as one, peacefully, educated, knowledgeable about uh, our laws and our rights. And we want our kids, like we want our children to grow up and say, okay, our mom and my family, they fought for this. We need to instill pride, self pride, pride for your family and pride for yourself. And I think this is a way that it all starts. You start voting and you start educating yourself, and just trying to do what's right. You know, whatever. Just try to do what's right.
And then for the people who say, uh, we need to see we need to see this done. We need to see something we can reduplicate. We need to see a picture of justice being pursued and people making it over to the other side. Excuse me, your ancestors. I'm not a slave. I wasn't born a slave. I have some ancestors who are still living. Well, they're some older generation that are still living who were slaves. And the fruit of their labor is me not being a slave and me being free in the United States of America. Let's look back at those examples of the people who fought, who stuck together
Mm-hmm.
and fought
Mm-hmm.
on one accord until they got what they needed. And yes, it was some shady people in the in between, but it still didn't stop them from getting what they set out to achieve and pursue, which was for us to be free.
Because you correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even think they had a right to protest back then, and they were sicking
They didn't.
dogs on them
They didn't.
and
It was
putting
illegal.
water on them and stuff. But we have that right now because of them. We have that right, and we need
It
to show
it
our
was illegal.
ancestors. some pride and
Respect.
do what's right. We need to, because like I said, they
Strong.
didn't have the right to protest. They were beat and everything, but we have that right. We have that right because of
Yeah,
them.
that's right. Form of they considered it uh form of civil disobedience. And I also have to talk about, and I showed y'all something with Harriet Tubman, but I also have to talk about um Rosa Parks.
Hmm.
And people thought that for Rosa Parks it was just her not going to the back of the bus because she had worked all them long hours and she was tired. Rosa Parks started off pushing back against police brutality. I'll say it again for those who may not know and may not be aware of history and need to search this thing out. She started off fighting and standing against and resisting. That's what a protest is. A protest is to resist something, and we are resisting foolishness and a false narrative. She started off pushing it against the police brutality. That was her resistance against police brutality. And here we are 80 years later, and we still have to resist and stand against police brutality and injustices. That's how she started off, resisting, resisting. So refresh, refocus, renew, and get some relentlessness on the inside of you. Get a pushback on the inside of you. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? And if you don't do it for the next generation, what are they going to have? What shoulder of greatness are they going to be able to stand on? What story will they tell about you when you pass away? What story will the generation that's coming after us have to say about our generation when we are no longer here? What story will the next generation have to say about us when we are no longer here? Let it not be one of they were sorry, lazy, trifling, contrite, silly, foolish, no wisdom. Let it not be that story. Yeah, Alicia, we do have to fight again. We never stop fighting. We never
Is
stop
it any
fighting.
is there anybody in the chat that's going to the protest?
Type a W in the chat session if you're going to the protest. Type a W. If you're going to the protest, type a W. Thank you for all the Y's and the V's. We have some registered voters in the chat session. That's part of the justice on demand process. You voting people in and out of office. You need to know what you're getting because you got these defense attorneys, you have these prosecutors who may not be representing you to the degree that you need to be represented, and you just set up and voted. Also, we got some judges. Also, November 6th, go vote. It'll be a new attorney general in the state of Illinois. There'll be a new attorney general in the city, and I mean, in the state where you live, you will have some new elected officials. So on November the 6th, if you're in the United States of America, make sure you go vote. Make sure you go vote. Make sure you go vote. Study the candidates. That's if you didn't make it to the primary and you don't like the person, you don't like the options, you should have made it to the primary to vote. Next time, if you didn't vote, make sure you vote. If you don't like the selections, you need to get your plan of action together and start running for the office. If you don't like the choices that's out there, run. Run. Okay. AM, she with her W tentatively. I'm repping us regardless, AM. Hi, open mindedness. How are you? How are you, dear? W. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We got some W. We got some people, Miss Letha, in the chat section who definitely
Great.
are putting their feet on the ground.
That's
And for
good.
the people who
That's good.
can't, like Miss Letha suggested, send some water. And for the people who can't, do a video, write a card, do something, do something to show your support. Do something positive. I don't want to say just do any old thing. Do something. Send some money. Send somebody. Uh, put a little in for some gas for somebody. Put a little in for some food for somebody. Protesters on the ground. Send some. Put a little in for some water or something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Because I'm gonna say
Because it could have
this.
been one of our children, our child out there, and you would want to know that it was people that were backing you and stuff like that. So just have compassion for people, and like Miss Corinza said, have mercy. Have mercy on people. What goes around come around. If you reap what you sow, it might not happen to us. It could happen to our children or their children or whatever. So plant good seeds. Plant
Plant
real
good
good
seeds.
seeds. Plant good
Vanessa,
seeds.
I'm sorry, Miss Letha. Vanessa said, "Yes, Lord. I hope the Democrats take the House back. We already got 7 seats. That's good. Now that people from the Democratic Party are taking House seats back, stay on top of their heads. They need to be held accountable because, to me, they started projecting a little weakness, and people are wondering what I am. I'm an independent. I've been independent since probably I got in my 20s. Before then, it was Democratic Party. When I got in my 20s, switched myself off, even though they still have me down for democracy into a independent party because I believe we need more than 2 to 3 parties in the United States of America. We need parties to represent everybody all the way across the board. We need to work on that. We need to work on that. You cannot assume the people that you vote for are always going to have your best interest at heart. You have to follow up with them and make sure they do what you sent them there to do because sometimes they get there, they get scared. Sometimes they get there and they get caught up in some foolishness and they lose sight and lose focus. So you have to stay on top of them too. So, uh, good, Vanessa, for the Democratic Party. They are more liberal, and people act like they don't like liberty. I like liberty. Um, that's what we're here for, liberty. I enjoy civil rights, and we need to get to some human rights. We need to get to some human rights. I enjoy my civil liberties, but we need to get to some human rights here in the United States of America. We also need to do some sessions where we are creating and writing some laws for our state and for the United States of America with the language that can get approved when it gets to where it needs to go so we can get some bills passed our own selves. Justice on the man. We are the people we've been looking for. Mike Jones, wish Kanika case could be reopened. That's what we're fighting for. Justice on the man. We're the people that we're looking for. If okay, if you have signed the petition to get the case reopened, type a Y. If you signed the petition
I
to get
signed
this
it.
case reopened, type a Y. If you
Carissa,
signed the petition,
could you
if
explain to me and anybody else that understand it how that works? I signed it, but like I said, I really
okay, We need so many signatures, and I have to go look. It's up on the I Demand J website that I need to update too. It's a petition that was started by Lamont to get this case reopened. It requires a certain set amount of signatures for Justice Department, somebody else to take this on so they can look into this case beyond the hands of Rosemont and beyond the state of Illinois. Certain amount of signatures were needed. So if you've not signed a petition to get the case reopened, I will post the link in this once this chat session is over. Once this live chat is over, I will post the link so you can go directly to the website, sign to get the case reopened. But that goes back to justice on demand, us doing everything that we can do to get the case reopened like we say we want it reopened.
So
Make
once
sure
these signatures are achieved, then the case can be reopened.
then it goes into the hands of somebody else
Well,
and they look at it. So the case can be
this should
reopened.
have been we should have been had all those signatures. We should have been had that. And many people and stuff that
Okay.
want
Thank
justice and
you.
stuff. That's. I am ashamed that we
Right.
don't have all of those signatures. That's really bad. Hopefully, I hope that didn't nobody know about it, but I found out about it, and also am on Corinne's website, and that's how I found out about it. And I signed the petition. But man, if how many ever signatures need, that should be everybody's homework. Everybody need to go and sign that petition. Because I mean, if it's that simple, that should have been done. That should have been done in October of last year. People, come on now.
Natasha's saying the one day it was at 130,000 and then it went back down. Okay, a lot of times you have to be of age, which is a voting age 18, registered voting age 18, where I live at. Um, and something that attorneys like to do real quick, if I can jump on this, attorneys like to challenge signatures on petitions. I know that for a fact. And challenge and make sure everybody is legal. They will do that up and down. Um, in addition to playing a word game of semantics. So let's make sure we're doing that. Also, what we need to do, hmm, how about in the month of October, I start posting some phone numbers and we start choosing some times to call the state of Illinois and ask about the letters that were sent all at the same time. Call to follow up. How about we do that? We say we want justice. This is justice on demand. We need to become a little bit more relentless to make sure that they don't forget and to make sure that they know it's more than 2 to 3 people that are still out here seeking justice. Because what happens is you don't show up and they see a little people showing up, they figure, oh, it ain't about nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing. It ain't about nothing. No, it's time to shock them. Now it's time to go to the next level and send a shock all the way through the state, all the way up to the White House. Okay, Vanessa signed one on Epic Radio. Okay, Vanessa, if you sign one, it's the same one. It's just um, it was different petitions out there, but it's one main one with a lot of signatures that gets the case reopened. Because what happens is if you get too many out there, they'll consolidate them, just like they consolidate class action lawsuits. Is if it's for the same thing, if you get the same petitions out there, For the same thing, they'll consolidate them. That's usually what happens from a legal perspective. Okay, we still need signatures. Vanessa, Ethnic Radio did his position. He got thousands of signatures. We needed one. We need to know what happened to that situation. We still need signatures. We still need the signatures. This is justice on demand. We need the signatures. If you already signed, then go ahead and recruit somebody who's of legal age who have not signed. Share, share it with them. Share with them, and get them to sign it. This is justice on demand. We the people we've been waiting for.
I'm gonna really
Share
be
it.
on that. I'm gonna really be on that. Every day I'm gonna post on Facebook, please sign the petition because I mean, man, that's sad. I mean, I wish I'd have knew that before now. I'd have been on that. I'm definitely on that for sure
Vanessa,
now. Anybody.
okay. Vanessa said we did that. Vanessa, I'm sure there's a lot of people who didn't sign. I know for a fact. I know some people who didn't sign it yet. So share it again and again and again because we don't have all the signatures we need. So we got to keep sharing until we achieve what we set out to achieve, and we can push that thing on. And then if it gets to the point, Miss Letha, I also want you to share because Miss Letha has been extremely productive. Share about the NAACP chapter in the state of Illinois that you contacted, and when we get on the ground, you can update us.
Okay, I called. I was just sitting around and just thinking, just trying to get as many people here as I could. And in the South, we use the NAACP for
I'm getting
everything.
some feedback from
So
you, Miss Letha. Are you outside? Okay.
so I called the NAACP in Chicago, and I got the headquarters, and all we needed was a flyer. And I got in touch with Miss McKenzie, and she sent me a flyer, and I sent it to them, and they said that they were going to participate because I got in contact with them in enough time. There was some stuff they had to do as far as paperwork that they would be there. So I'm really looking forward. I have been calling them to uh, to get the feedback to make sure. I hadn't heard back from them yet, but Miss McKenzie said they're always busy and stuff like that. But I do call every other day and leave messages and stuff. So I'm just gonna say she told me they were coming, so I'm gonna assume that they are coming, and that'll be great.
This is better, Miss Letha. Can you say that again in case people in the chat didn't hear it? Because I was hearing that feedback from the car
Okay,
earlier.
I said that I had called. I was just sitting around, just trying to think about who all could come and help, and so I got in touch with the headquarters of
NAACP headquarters.
NAACP in Chicago, and
That's
they said
right.
that to send a flyer, and I sent the flyer, and that had to file their paperwork that I had got in touch with them in time that they had time to file their legal paperwork that they had to do, and so I'm looking forward to them being there. So let's just hope that they come. So anybody that could come, I just if you live in Chicago, man, I mean, it might be some churches or it could be a boys and girls club that you want to teach the kids about their rights and stuff like that. It's just anybody. I mean, we just want as many people to come to let Rosemont know that this is not going to ever go away. I mean, and then I have to go back to Emmett Till. That little boy was killed. What was it? 43 years ago.
Yeah,
And
over
we
46
don't want it
years
to
ago.
take that long, but if justice take that long, then so be it. But we can't give up hope because his mama never gave up hope. She wasn't alive to see that his case is going to be reopened, but his ancestors are. So I thought that was great. I really
Open
did.
open mindedness says she's buffering. Is anybody else buffering? Because I'm not buffering and I adjusted the bandwidth
I'm not buffering either,
intentionally
Keith.
today and slowed it down. Open mindedness, refresh your browser. Do a refresh. Open mindedness, do a refresh. Do a refresh. If you're on a laptop, F5. If you're not on a laptop, just pull your window people call it a window, but pull your user interface down, just drag it down to the bottom, and that'll refresh.
There's a lot of people that I'm in this group that I think it's called the J for K March, protest march, and there's a lot
Mhm.
of people that are coming from out of town, from Louisiana and different places, and man, I mean, there's a lot of people coming, and I'm proud of that. I'm real proud, and you know, we've been talking on the a lot of people that are real true J for Ks. We've been communicating on the chats and on texting and on hangouts, but we never got to get together and talk about anything. So what better way to come together and meet somebody when you're all fighting for the same thing? I mean, to me, it's like a big old family reunion that's about to take place with Mama
Wonderful.
T family and Kanika in the center of it. I don't know Mama T. I never met Mama T, but I feel like I know her.
Mhm.
I don't know her family, but I feel like I know her. My family values as far as family is everything to her and family is everything to me. My husband's sister just died, and all weekend, they drunk, they partied, whatever. I mean, that's just the way we do it. I mean, some people each to their own. And I actually went live and posted this kind of stuff because look, I mean, everybody got their own way of doing things. You can't judge anybody for the way that they do things. It took me a long time to learn. It's two things you cannot change: is what a people think or what do people say. And if you sit around and think you can and give those people that free rent in your head that'll drive you crazy, then that's you. I mean, each to their own. I mean, so I feel like with this protest, is a big family coming together as one for a great, great cause. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning to me, and I'm pretty sure with everybody else, I hope it's just the beginning for them. So it's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and if we can get Kanika's case reopened, and man, can you imagine the celebration that'll go on across the world
When we get the case reopened.
when we get the case
When
reopened? It's
when we
gonna
get
be
the
a
case
big
reopened.
celebration,
We
a
just waiting on
big,
the
big celebration.
we right. We just waiting on the manifestation and doing the work, and we're gonna intensify and turn up on the work.
I mean, cause
And
come on,
can
y'all.
they cut right? Can they, once we start calling every day,
Mhm.
and once people get fired up, refresh, renewed, refocus, and let that relentlessness get stirred up on the inside of them and start showing up every day. What's the probability with a person showing up every day that you're not going to stop and take notice and start paying attention? Okay. Once you start showing up every day, they get to see you. Now they got to see you. Now they can't slide around. Now they can't avoid your calls because you face to face, eye to eye, direct contact. Now the riffraff gets cut out. So justice on demand. How do you get justice on demand? You be the person to show up every day. You be the person to call every day. We be the people. It's on us. It's on us. That's how you get justice on demand. You do the work. You do the work. Everybody sitting down. You can't sit around and wait for everybody. You do the work. We do the work. We got to do the work. We have to do our part. And our part is showing up every day. Now it's time to turn up. Now it's time to call, follow up all them letters we sent. Now it's time to call. They try to say, "Oh, you got to get with this person. You got to get with that person." Those channels have already been followed thoroughly. Chain of commands, protocol, proper protocol has already been followed. We've already did that. Now it's time to call every day and follow up. Excuse me. According to my knowledge, I sent the letter on this day. I have not had any type of effective resolve yet pertaining to the Kanika Jenkins case. What is going on? Okay. What is your name? What is your number? Okay. I will call again tomorrow to follow up with you again. Now it's time to go there. Also, I want to piggyback on what Ms. Letha said. So, like I said, uh, the team has been productive. Mrs. Letha uh, made sure she contacted the NAACP chapter in Chicago. They submitted their legal paperwork so they can participate in the protest because, quite naturally, they're going to have their attorneys prepared if they're going to participate. Also, she has been uh, she also contacted some other organizations. So the team has been productive. We don't just post videos and do lives. We are actually working behind the scenes. People are really working behind the scenes. So I just I just want you all to know that we are working. This is justice on demand. So does anybody have any questions? Like I said, I thank you for the registered voters. Are there any questions? Thank you so much, TK. If you're going to the protest, be safe. Thank you so much, TK official. Thank you so much. We will be. I will say this. My trip to the state of Illinois, what I was doing was sizing up the police. I'm gonna be honest about that. And I saw some pretty tall police officers. And looking at the lay of the land, trying to get a feel. So some tips that I can give real quick is leave early. If you are if you come from a state and you don't have heavy traffic, if you know the protest is starting at noon, make sure you are leaving early. Prepare for traffic. You got to prepare for traffic time. Also, make sure you have comfortable shoes, quite naturally. Make sure if you know you sweat a lot or whatever, you bring an extra t-shirt or deodorant and different things like that. Make sure you have your water, your Gatorade, your snacks. Um, Make sure you have a backpack. Make sure you just bring things like a head bonnet in case it rains, a nice little jacket, maybe a little scarf, just things to be prepared, not to make your backpack really, really heavy. Because should you have to run or walk quickly, you don't want to bog yourself down. But make sure that you are prepared. If you are a diabetic, if you take medications, high blood pressure, anything, make sure you have your medications and your medicines with you. Make sure you bring yourself something to eat uh, that can endure heat or that can endure the cold. Um, because we will be out there. I know a protest that I participated in is out there for a long, long time. Hours. They run long. So make sure that you have everything you need for comfort, to move swiftly, in case there are weather or other environmental issues, maybe a scarf to put. Make sure you are prepared. Like I said, if you're traveling from another state, you're not used to heavy traffic, make sure you leave early. You don't want to get caught up in a traffic jam and get stuck. So, those are just my tips um, from visiting the state of Illinois. Make sure that you are prepared and you have different things you need. Okay, Vanessa, I'm going to answer this question. Open mindedness, who can we send a few bucks to? Ooh, open mindedness. Um, I don't like collecting monies. I don't like collecting monies. I'll get with and I talk to her all the time. I'll get with Gina Kidd again. She was supposed to um, show up tonight, and I'm assuming that she got tied up, and asked her who uh, to send the monies, who you can send some monies to. I just know I won't be handling any monies, not without an accountant being present. Okay, Corinne, I have a question. I hope you can answer. I talk. Okay, Vanessa, you talked to Rosemont Police Department investigator, and they said if Teresa does not say that's not her daughter, they will automatically reopen the case. If Teresa does not say that's not her daughter. Okay, Vanessa, I don't understand. If Teresa does not say that's not her daughter, they automatically reopen the case. No, they closed the case down, and Teresa's attorney didn't even know they closed the case down. So I don't know. Did you talk to Detective Delacova? Because when I called, that's who I spoke with. I spoke with him directly, and I have a video up where I spoke directly with Detective Delacova, and you can go back and listen to that and hear all of the options so you can speak directly with him because that's the person that I spoke with. But they closed the case, and so I don't see them. I don't know why the detective would tell you that. Maybe they just got tired of people calling up there or whatever. I don't know what that detective was talking about. I don't know who it was. But open mindedness, I would definitely uh, contact Gina. Like I said, we talk all the time, and I will ask her who can she send monies to. I just know I will not be held accountable or responsible unless I have an accountant or somebody who knows the law legally present for monies pertaining to J4K. That's what I'll say in that regards. Okay, did I miss any other questions? Thank you so much, TK. I really appreciate your support. Where's the love? Prayer changes everything. Right, where's the love? I'm just reading that. Shovel Gang. Hey, Shovel Gang. I didn't see you in there earlier. I'm sorry if you're still on here. Hello. It is one of our children. Okay. AM. I didn't have to. Okay. Okay. So thank you, TK. Yes, yes. You know, you always welcome up on here, and I will ask Gina, and whenever she's ready to do pop up live, we can do that. She probably fell off to sleep, even though she chose the time for today. She probably honestly fell asleep, uh, which is understandable. No problem, open mindedness. Okay, are there any more questions? Any more questions? Any more questions? Justice on demand. We are the people we've been waiting for. We're the people we've been looking for. We're the people we've been searching for. So many people are doing videos about it, but you can't just sit up and do a video all day. At some point, I agree with PRico when he was on TK Official. Make sure you go and um, view TK Official channel. She had PRico on there from Chicago, and he was snatching the oxygen out of the room, literally. Make sure you go view that. Also, Monica Mo Justice, she had a live on her channel. I'll drop their links in the chat after it's open. She had a gentleman on there who was excellent, and he was talking about content creation. He was talking about being drama free as content creators and those who have a platform on social media. So I will drop that so you can go check that out too. Um, Miss Letha, do you have any other thing to say?
No, I just want to say I hope everybody support this protest, and if you can't come, you YouTubers out there again, I stress that you send some of your
Send the
moderators
cash. Run
or
that money.
water or something. Yes, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
I need them to
Hey,
show up. I need some of them to show up. I
yeah, we
understand the
really
people
would.
who can't get off work, but the people who
Yes,
be on here streaming all day, every day, just
yeah, but you
streaming
can't. So a
systematically,
lot of them
I'm
can't.
gonna
A
need
lot of them
them to
can't give
show
that
up because
idea. They couldn't work, Corinza,
some of
because they
us
be
got
on it
full
day and
time
night.
jobs, right? Some of us got,
So,
some of us are
so
employed and got other
everybody
things
need to
going on,
show
so we
up.
can't be on
Everybody
here
need to
every day.
show
But
up,
for the ones who be doing all
especially
this
the people in
consistent
Chicago.
streaming all the
Especially the
time,
people in Chicago.
uh,
Yes,
but Chicago really don't be on here streaming like that. They gonna show
mm,
up.
they
Yeah,
gonna show up.
I
Yeah.
can see. I can see Chicago is about that life in the
We
state
just
of
want as
Illinois,
many
not just
people out
Chicago,
there as
because
possible to let them know
right.
that we're not playing. And seriously, we're not playing. We're not going to ever give up until she get her justice. We're not going to give up ever.
I'm gonna need the daily stream. I'm gonna need the daily streamers, the all daily streamers, to show up and do their due diligence,
Exactly.
put their feet on the ground, and
Feet on the
hopefully they
ground.
can
That's
show up
right.
on a Thursday or a
But you know what,
Friday
Carissa? To be
before.
real with you, a lot of them
What
scared to put their feet on the ground because they done talk so much shit and tell so many lies that they scared to put their feet on the ground.
well,
So that's how come we were saying plant good seeds, plant good stuff. You have mercy. Don't say negative stuff about people.
all I
Plant
can do
good
is tell them
seeds.
is apologize when they get there, and maybe look like you, not you. But some of them aren't so
Exactly.
recognizable until that's gonna be inevitable. You can tell who they are.
Exactly.
But all I can say is apologize, um, and just don't do it no more. Admit it and quit it.
That's right.
Just because you start off dumb, silly, and stupid, don't mean you have to stay there.
That's right.
Get up and get
And
out.
naturally we are compassionate people anyway. If you come at us right and say you're sorry and this is never gonna happen again, more than likely we're gonna give you a second chance. More than likely we are,
Huh?
if you're
Get up
sincere.
and get out. So this was Justice on Demand. I'm fired up. I'm fired
Me
up,
too.
refreshed,
Me too.
renewed, fired up, ready to go. Like I said, so many people. Chicago, the state of Illinois have some beautiful buildings, beautiful, beautiful buildings, beautiful skyscrapers. Some sections are just so clean and beautiful. Every state have beautiful sites, and then you always have your inner city uh, areas, and then you have areas that's run down in every state. But it's some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful skyscrapers there. Some beautiful scenery there. So I definitely want to mention that part. So if there is nothing else and our minds are clear and there's nothing else to say, we are going to end this live. It was productive. Hopefully, everybody hope is being renewed. You refresh yourself, restore, renew, and get your relentlessness back. Even if you have to take a sabbatical from social media, even if you have to go on a turning down your plate, which is a fast, whatever you need to do. If you need to get yourself in your zone of positivity, to play all positive music, only positive things, begin to go through and paint a different picture on the canvas of your imagination. If you need to cut some negative people off, tune them out, stop viewing whatever, do what you need to do to keep yourself in a positive place, stay out of depression, oppression. Don't let anyone stress you out. Get yourself out of that place. Um, you don't have to be there. You're only there because you choose to be. You can get out. If you can look up, you can get up. So this was Justice on Demand. Plenty much love to everybody. To those who will be in the state, I will see you there. We will be doing some more lives as the day fast approaches, just to keep the fire ignited on the inside and burning on the inside of people. Ms. Letha, do you have any other thing to say?
No, ma'am, that's it. Just hope to see everybody there.
Yeah, we hope to see you there. Plenty much love to TK Official, AM Always, Open Mindedness, Shovel Gang, Vanessa, for everybody who showed up to participate. Mike, I know I'm missing some people. This is why I don't like calling out too many names, Miss Letha, quite naturally. Thank you so much. Plenty much love, everybody. Bye bye. Have a nice night,
Bye bye,
pleasant week.
Kenzie. Bye bye.
Bye.